Good morning, guys. It's a Sunday morning. It's like, feels like rain, but kind of like snow. I don't know. Anyway, I'm in the parking lot of St. Patrick's Church. Beautiful church, and that's great service. I left towards almost 3/4 of the way through because I'm not Catholic, so I can't participate in the communion. So I figured I'd leave and just walk around real quick and talk to you guys today about goals. So here's a goal. I'm wearing the suit today. You can't really see it. Well, you can see it, but the goal is that it's a little bit snug, but I bought this suit in 2015 when I weighed about 240 pounds. Right now I weigh about 270, and I was about almost 300 pounds about a month ago, or after Christmas. Had a lot of weight on me, and for Christmas I got personal training sessions with a trainer that I knew from our old gym we used to own in Lakewood, Vital Fitness. We owned for about 5 years. It's in Lakewood, next to the Lakewood Goodwill. And so my goal is to be at 220 pounds. And how do you achieve a goal of losing 50 pounds? You can't just say, I'm gonna work out and I'm gonna eat the same food I eat and I'm gonna lose weight. It doesn't work that way. You're gonna work out, but basically you're gonna work out the calories you eat, and then when you eat, the calories are just gonna come back up. It's just not gonna make sense. It's insanity. It's doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. The way I'm doing it is I'm eating healthy. I'm eating, less carbs, more protein, salads, lettuce, greens, protein as in good clean meats. Try to get grass-fed steak and beef, and stay away from fries and fast food. I mean, I got a burger last night and I almost got sick off of it because I'm so used to it for the past couple weeks, just eating salads and fish, salmon, steak, smoothies for lunch, smoothies for breakfast. And that's how I'm able to wear this suit that I bought in 2015 that I wasn't able to fit in, a couple months back. Here's another goal I have. Let's see if I can flip this thing. Okay, so here's this house. It's called Rest Mansion. If you take in summer, I think they have a tour of historic homes in North Tacoma, and this is one of them. It's practically like the White House. I mean, it's very architecturally cool. It's got that cool awning with the rolling columns. It's got a view of the water. It kind of looks like a compound, but I mean, if I owned this house, I would transplant it, because at the time when it was built, there's probably nothing around, but now it's just such a busy main street for Tacoma to get to Reston Way or to get to the freeway or get to Proctor District, But I mean, really, it's a beautiful house. It really is. My goal someday is to build a house like this for myself and my family. That's a goal. And it's not a bad goal, because at the end of the day, you can't take this stuff with you to heaven, but God wants you. He says, my arm is not too short. He wants to give you blessings upon blessings upon blessings. Like, with Joshua. Look what happened to Joshua, man. The brothers sold him into slavery. And what did the guy do? Okay, back to me. What did Joshua do? Or Joseph rather. What did he do? He got accused of having sexual intercourse with his master's wife. He got all this stuff, and then he started, telling people the dreams, interpreting dreams, and then he also started, what else did he do? That's a sick bench right there. That's a nice bench. You see how it's got like the hotel awning there? That's what I'm talking about. They just don't build houses like these anymore. Anyways, so he gets sold into slavery. He gets accused of being after that master put him as the head of the household, he got, the wife tries to seduce him, and, she doesn't like the husband, and, look what happens. And then anyway, Joseph becomes a king of Israel, or the second to the king, the second in command. And his brothers that sold him into slavery come to him during this famine, and they say, hey, help us out, help us out. And what does he do? Does he shun him and say no, because you messed me over, I'm not going to help you out? No, he helped them out. He gave them the grain. You know, it's in my culture, the Persian culture, which I'm half of, it was actually, we were the first people to invent beer, believe it or not. But because with the fermentation process of the grain, it helps, you know, makes it last longer. So we kind of were the first to invent beer, but somebody stole it from us. And then there's a really cool king in the Bible. He's Persian. His name is King Cyrus. And Cyrus is a lot like, people relate him to Trump because he's a builder. He was a great king. He built a lot of stuff. And it says in the Bible that Cyrus was a man after God's own heart, like King David, but, you know, he wasn't saved, but he had such this great heart. He wanted to build things. He wanted to make the place safe. He wanted to, you know, improve the economy, improve his surroundings. And, you know, just like President Trump, you know, yeah, he's this, he's that. You guys don't like him. You think he's Twitter in chief and whatnot. And yeah, I don't really agree with the whole Twitter thing. I mean, what's the deal with a 70-year-old man tweeting stuff to bypass the news? It's like, dude, just hold a press conference, say everything you have to say, and be done with it, you know? Enough with the diarrhea of the mouth with the Twitter. You're gonna get your freaking smartphone taken away from you by Secret Service pretty soon, you know? So anyway, I'm walking around downtown, or North Tacoma, and I'm just talking to you about goals. Set goals. Here's a goal right here. I'm gonna thing. You see this Mercedes right here? This was my, this was my third car. Same wheels, same color, and it had a few perks, but it had an inline six. Same engine that my car has now, my BMW. But at the time, I really wanted this car. Let's see if it's the same model. C230, I had a C280, so my engine was like a 2.8 liter. And this is a compressor, so this is the faster version of mine. Mine was a stock. But my goal was to get this car, and I got this car. And a year later, the hatch gaskets went out on me. And then I got my Lincoln Town Car, which I had for like 3-4 years that I loved. And then stuff happened. It was killing me on gas, I thought. And so I got a Volvo, and then somebody clips me in my Volvo, wrecks it. They don't have insurance. Luckily, I had an uninsured motorist. I love that thing, Volvo. And then I end up getting a Cadillac. That was cool, but I mean, Cadillac, and it's not as cracked up as it is to be. I mean, if you have an old school, like a 1959 Coupe de Ville, like Sabeti Motors has for 50 grand, by all means, that's the car for you if you like caddies. But these new ones, man, the one I had gave me some problems. But I mean, this is still a good car. So now I have a BMW 325i. It's a 1.8 liter inline six, and it's got 180 horsepower, plenty for me. Anyway, you know, I'm just walking around after church, looking at all of these buildings. I like buildings. You see, this is kind of like an atrium. If they built around it and they had a glass ceiling, it would be like an atrium. They're building this house right here. You know, they're remodeling it, which is cool. You know, I like to see a lot of new renovations and new construction in the area, because it means the economy's doing well. So anyway, just like my goal is to, in the next 10 years, be a developer. I want to develop, you know, condominiums, apartments, business plazas, you know, like the Lakewood Town Center, the Lakewood Mall. I want to develop that kind of stuff. I want to build schools. You know, I'm like a Trump up and coming. You know, that's my goal. And you got to have goals in life. You have to have big goals, and you have to make them bigger, because if I only end up building just like a 12-story apartment condo building with some retail shops on the main floor, then hey, at least I did that, rather than, and I'm shooting for building a 50-foot, you know, skyscraper, calling it Sabeti Tower. So, you know, but you got to think big, because if you think big, you have a goal that's big, you'll attain something that's maybe not as big, but at least that goal is bigger, so you can get that dream, get closer to that dream. Because as long as you start something, you do something, you set your mind to something, and you'll reap what you sow. So, like I like to say, be great. You know, treat people the way you wish to be treated. It's the old saying that I always like to say. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's really true. That's how I act in my business. I mean, I have my customers giving me hugs, giving me Starbucks cards in the mail, writing me letters. I mean, I should write them letters, which I do, but I mean, what do you want me to do? But yeah, this is I'm about to walk down to North Tacoma Ave. You'll see down here Annie Wright School approaching it. And I bet you know that Annie Wright is the daughter of Charles Wright. And Charles Wright was one of the pioneers of Tacoma. He was a logger and started one of the first what he started one of the first like not logging, you know, this Tacoma is known for timber, and a lot of the guys that made money came from this, you know, cutting down the trees and selling the wood. And so he was in that business, and that's where Wright Park comes from. That's where Charles Wright Academy